In this Idioms Online video, I'm going to go over English idioms about happiness. There are many English idioms about happiness. They either express being happy or are related to happiness. Here are 22 of the most common, and some not so common, happiness idioms. This first idiom is one of the only, if not the only, English idiom which expresses the idea of being happy all the time, just being a generally happy person. Happy-go-lucky. A happy-go-lucky person is happy all the time and does not worry about anything. I'm always talking about how my cat Petey is so nervous now. He jumps at the slightest noise, he's scared of his own shadow. But he used to be so happy-go-lucky. Nothing seemed to bother him. Example. What is that guy smiling about? Who, Vic? He's just a happy-go-lucky person. It's just the way he is. Happy camper. A happy camper is someone who is happy in their situation or a contented or satisfied person. Give me a beer and a good movie to watch and I'm a happy camper. Happy as a lark. To be happy as a lark means to be very happy, excited, delighted, etc. Now this idiom can be used to describe happiness as a general characteristic, but it's rarely used in this way. It's usually used to describe happiness in reaction to an event or to what one is doing. It's been used since at least the first half of the 1800s, and the idiom happy as a lark is assumed to allude to the song of the lark, which to human ears seems quite beautiful, melodious, and happy. When Mary saw the carousel at the park, she was happy as a lark and rode it for hours. Happy as a clam, or happy as a clam at high tide. This is more of the same. Someone who is happy as a clam is very happy, and usually, again, this is a situational idiom. So why a clam? Well, some folks say it's because a clam always looks like it's smiling, but the full phrase is as happy as a clam at full tide or in the mud at full tide. Presumably, the illusion is that a clam in the mud at high tide can't be dug up, so this is when it must be most happy. A happy bunny. A happy bunny is someone who is happy, satisfied, or content. It's very similar to a happy camper. The electricity was off for 2 days. Most of my food was spoiled. I was not a happy bunny. Happy as the day is long. Happy as the day is long can definitely be used to express general happiness, but again, it is especially used to express happiness and contentment with your circumstances or something you are doing. Usually, context will reveal the difference, as in these examples. My Uncle Frankie was able to retire early. I thought he would be bored, but he's happy as the day is long. Here, although we're talking about circumstances, the context reveals that Uncle Frankie is happy all the time now. My kids love going to the beach in the summer. They spend all their time playing in the sand, happy as the day is long. Clearly, the kids are happy about being at the beach and are having a good time. Happy as a pig in mud, muck, or clover. Like the previous one, this one means to be thrilled with your circumstances or what you're doing. There is a more vulgar version alluding to feces, which is quite insulting to pigs. Now, pigs do enjoy the occasional mud bath, but this is to cool down and keep the bugs away. They don't like being in mud all the time any more than you do. They are apparently, however, fond of clover. Although this one is heard occasionally in the US, it's used most often in Britain. I'm glad Joseph left that banking job. He's back to being a chef again and he's happy as a pig in muck. Tickled pink. To be tickled pink means to be very pleased by something, or amused by it, or entertained by it. When you are tickled pink by something, you like it and enjoy it, and so you're certainly happy, but this idiom does not describe a prolonged state of happiness, but a momentary one. You don't have to be tickled pink, you can just be tickled. Bob was tickled pink when over 50 people showed up for his book signing. Grinning from ear to ear. This idiom really means to look happy because one is smiling broadly. In fact, we sometimes hear the alternative, smiling from ear to ear. It alludes to a smile so wide it stretches from one ear to the other. While it can describe just the appearance of happiness, such as when, for instance, smiling widely for a photo, it often describes a true state of happiness, especially in proud moments when something important has been accomplished. The whole team was grinning from ear to ear when they won the playoffs. Bursting with joy. To be bursting with joy alludes to being so joyful and happy that you're filled to the bursting point. There is so much happiness in your heart It's about to burst out. There are a number of similar alternatives. You can be bursting with excitement or bursting with pride. And really, in English, you can use any noun that describes a positive emotional state or even a negative one. You can say, I was bursting with anger, and idiomatically, this would be perfectly understandable if a bit unusual. You can also use this idiom in an ironic way, especially when someone asks you a dumb question like, how did you feel about losing your job? Well, it's not like I was bursting with joy about it. Example, when I got my first acting role, I was bursting with joy. On top of the world. If you're on top of the world, you're feeling great. You're very happy to the point of being ecstatic. Now, sometimes when the word sitting is added, this idiom takes on a slightly different meaning to describe being in a good place or a state of advantage or power and being, of course, happy about it. My sister is now the top lawyer in a huge law firm. She's sitting on top of the world. Here's a more conventional example. All my life I've dreamed of visiting Paris. Now that I'm here, I'm on top of the world. On cloud 9. To be on cloud 9 is to be extremely happy and full of bliss. The idiom alludes to sitting on a cloud, of course. Clouds are associated with angels and heaven, so of course they are connected with happiness. But why 9? Well, there is a related idiom in seventh heaven coming up, but this idiom isn't seeking to outdo the other by alluding to being up 2 additional levels. No, most likely the origin can be found in the International Cloud Atlas from 1896. In 1890, a group of meteorologists from various countries got together and they attempted to establish an international cloud classification system. They agreed on 10 classes or levels. The cumulonimbus cloud became cloud 9. Now these clouds are associated with rain showers and thunderstorms. In fact, they were called thunder clouds or shower clouds. But they are a big, fluffy cloud perfect for sitting on. And well, cloud 9 just sounds better than cloud 6 or cloud 10. I remember when I got my first check after going full-time earning my living on the internet, I was on cloud 9. Over the moon. To be over the moon about something is to be delighted about it. To be very happy and pleased. This probably comes from the old nursery rhyme from the 1800s, which involved, among other improbable occurrences, a cow jumping over the moon. In children's picture books, this cow usually looked quite happy to be leaping over the moon. My dad is having a swimming pool built and he's just over the moon about it. Wait until he sees how expensive it is to maintain. Walking on air. To be walking on air means to be exuberant, joyful, and happy. I think you're getting the idea. You know, this is a good opportunity to clear up a potential source of confusion with idioms. If you use idioms dictionaries to learn about idioms, well, some have an unfortunate tendency to use a root word in many idioms when another form of the word is always used. Here, we never say walk on air or walked on air. If you said, my sister walked on air, well, people would look at you as if you had 10 heads. It would sound like you meant it literally. The same thing goes for bursting with joy. You would never say, I burst with joy. It just doesn't sound right. The present participle is always used in the actual idioms. The idiom walking on air alludes to being so happy you feel like you're floating. You have a feeling of lightness inside. The state fair starts today and the kids are walking on air. They look forward to it all year. Have a whale of a time. To have a whale of a time means to have a very enjoyable experience. I think whale is used simply because a whale is such a large and impressive animal. Example. The kids had a whale of a time at the state fair, as usual. To have the time of your life. To have the time of your life is to have a very exciting and enjoyable experience. Although this idiom can mean to have the most enjoyable experience one has ever had, it is often exaggerated. Example. We had the time of our lives kayaking this summer. Have a ball. To have a ball means pretty much the same thing, to have an enjoyable and exciting experience. To enjoy oneself a great deal. The allusion here is not to a bouncy ball that you play with, but to ballroom dancing or a big fancy and quite formal dance party where everybody dresses up in extravagant clothing. How was your vacation? Oh, I had a ball. I wish I was still there. In your or one's element. To be in your element means to be in an environment or situation to which you are naturally suited, to be doing what you enjoy. The word element here alludes to a person's natural or preferred environment. Example, when I'm making idioms videos for you, I'm in my element. With bells on. With bells on is used to tell someone that you are looking forward to something happily and are enthusiastic about it. You'll be there ready to celebrate, or you'll be excited and happy to be attending. Are you going to meet us at the bar for Mary's birthday celebration tonight? You betcha, I'll be there with bells on. Grin like a Cheshire cat. To grin like a Cheshire cat is to have a big smile on one's face and to be very happy with yourself or something you know or have found out about. This is usually being happy about something when nobody but you understands what you're happy about. This one usually alludes to being not just happy, but sort of foolishly happy and not being able to control your expressions of happiness. It's usually used in a continuous sense. It's possible to say someone grinned like a Cheshire cat, but we usually say something like, he was grinning like a Cheshire cat. The Cheshire cat is most associated with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. In the story, the Cheshire cat had a broad grin planted on its face and would slowly disappear, starting with its tail and ending with its grin, which would remain a few moments after the rest of it had gone. Although Carroll certainly popularized the notion of the Cheshire cat, like most of his characters, he was borrowing from an already existing idea. The actual origin of the Cheshire cat is difficult to be certain of, but there are several fanciful stories. I can't recount them all here, but two of the most popular involve the county of Cheshire in England, a place of many dairy farms and a lot of cheese making. According to folks in Cheshire, the cats there grin because there's so much milk and cream available. Another legend is that there were cheese made there which bore a stamp that looked like a grinning cat. It was even claimed that the cheese was actually made in the shape of a cat that appeared to be grinning, and that this cheese was usually cut from the tail first so that the grin was the last to go. What's going on with Clark? He's been walking around grinning like a Cheshire cat all day. Paint the town red. To paint the town red means to go out and have a lively good time, to go on a drinking spree and visit many bars and nightclubs, to be boisterous and wild. We do not know the precise origin of this idiom. Many claim that it has to do with the association of the color red with violence and anger, and there are many stories associated with violence and blood, none of them very credible. However, red has just as often been associated with excitement, good times, and extravagance. It may be associated with an earlier phrase, paint it red, and there could be connections with bonfires and allusions to drinking, such as paint the nose red. I'm so happy you got your promotion. Let's go out and paint the town red. The last idiom on this list is in seventh heaven. To be in seventh heaven means to be extremely happy, blissful, or in a state of ecstasy, to be completely satisfied. According to Muslim and Jewish religious belief, the earth is surrounded by 7 concentric spheres representing the 7 levels of heaven or of righteousness. The 7th and last level is the place of ultimate joy where God resides. The idiom has been used to refer to a state of bliss since the early 1800s by religious and non-religious people alike. Now that she's had her baby, Becky is in 7th heaven. She's always wanted a child. That's all the happiness idioms I have for you today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.